Right, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome, of course, to the Castlemen. Joined by my two lovely fellow Castlemen, Chris and Liam. Thanks for joining me.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello, everyone. All of you in chat at the moment. We've got an Adrian. Hello, Adrian. Hope the corner down the road is still good. Wandering Heron. We've got Big Sarge. Fantastic. Lovely. Now, we've got a packed show, as usual, of all sorts of stuff, but mainly your questions. So if you have any questions, please put the word question in caps right in front of your question so that I can see it, or that any of the other two can see it, and then we can ask it of each other, rumble around, and see what we get. Now, we have tried to do something, but I realized as we hit the live button that I probably botched it. I was hoping to be able to roll a d20, and you can sort of see it. You can see a 4 there.
Yeah.
As long as it rolls in the bottom third of the screen, because I forgot to set it up properly. But anyway, we're here, we can roll dice, and that means that we can have a marvellous, smashing time. So Law is here as well. Nice to see you. Okay, so let's see. Who has been out of the country recently?
Oh, I don't know who that could possibly be.
Yeah. Don't know. Tell us. Can you tell us? Is it top secret? Is it Mission Impossible? What is the story? Talk to me. Us.
So, I went to Q8 last week. It was a lot of fun. Never been that far east before. Was flown out by one of our castle regulars. Lovely man. Stayed in a hotel, so I had a little bit of privacy, but basically spent the whole time with him, with his family, with his friends, and it was a load of fun. The game itself, I think I mentioned a little bit last time, it was kind of Feywild. It was a bit weird. It was all about the summer court. The summer court died. The winter court weren't very happy, and there's a few different factions kind of pulling in to begin to create this new reality. And my God, did my players not let me down. We had the characters that I had to play with were phenomenal. They all picked kind of links to the Feywild, so they all had their own little take on things that they might not necessarily have had otherwise. I'm trying to think of some of the best moments, but I'm still weirdly jet lagged, even though it's only like a 3-hour difference. I was just saying to Liam before we kicked off, like, going there was fine. I kind of felt a little bit tired, and then coming back has just sent me for a loop. But no, it was great. I managed to get some minis over there, and one of their guys prints everything, like printed all of Castle Ravenloft, so just had a ton of like 3D printed terrain on hand, which was a load of fun. I got to finally run a hag coven the way that I want to, which is like one body with 3 different personalities, each with different physical and like physical traits and ways of moving, all a little bit body horror, all a little bit weird, and fabulous stuff. So yeah, great time. Had a wonderful experience.
There we go. Now, I have some questions. So when you're running the Feywild, are you running the established D&D Feywild? Because it can be a bit tricky, sort of establishing a norm. So is that what you were definitely in the regular prescribed?
No. So mine was 2 different things kind of mashed together. So it was a version of the Feywild created by a friend and player of mine, Jeff, which all his own lore, all his own characters and kind of creation myths. But I also like my idea of the Feywild is very kind of cosmic horror, weird, dark whimsy. So it's like one part Annihilation, one part Pan's Labyrinth. So everything's the way that kind of time moves, the way that the geography isn't stable. It's less about navigating the Feywild. Is less about finding the correct route. It's more about feeling your way to a place. and kind of feeling the way that the geography is moving around you, and how your emotions kind of impact that. And then there's, the fey creatures aren't fun, kind of happy-go-lucky fairies, leprechauns, whatever. It's the mimic bear from Annihilation. It's weird hag covens. It's capricious, evil creatures who just want to get what they want from you. And you can play that, and you can kind of make deals with them and work that to your benefit, but it's never going to end well for you. And God help you if you tell them your name, eat with them. Like, that's when stuff gets real nasty.
Sounds delightful.
Visually, when people first arrive, visually, yes, very traditional Feywild. Beautiful scenery. Everything just feels a little bit strange. All the saturation's been dialed up just a little bit, and the sky weirdly kind of doesn't exist.
Interesting. Okay, so what's there then?
TV static.
I look up and I just see TV static.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? It was weird. It was this game specifically that made me think about the sky in the Feywild, because it's not a thing I've ever once considered. But to me, the Feywild is this kind of liminal space. It's not. If you imagine looking up outside, you see the sky, you see the expanse, you see space beyond that, or kind of there is space beyond that. To me, the Feywild doesn't have that. The Feywild is this kind of finite space, as opposed to being something larger. So it was when one of the players decided that they were going to fly above the tree, like the tree canopy. In my head, I'm like, in my concept of the Feywild, what's above the canopy? And I described it as this kind of, if I remember rightly, this kind of strange, almost sky. This kind of what's the word I'm looking for? This panoply of Penelope? I can't remember how it's pronounced. Anyway, of color that's ever so sickening to look at, and you just kind of you look back down towards the trees below you, which are closer than you would imagine them to be. Again, this kind of weird playing with space, playing with perception, playing with what your character understands in this unknowable place.
Trippy. Very.
I do creepy.
Yeah, creepy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got some questions that have come running in here as well. So I'm going to go to one that's more specific here. And this is from Salor, which says, how do you prefer to describe or show body horror? I mean, let me ask you this one first. Obviously, you clear that with your players.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then,
most of them, anyway.
But then so are you doing like graphic descriptions of blood, guts and gore, or how far are you sort of taking it?
So for me, body horror is more about making players uncomfortable. It's about creating that somewhere between Uncanny Valley and I don't know if anybody's seen the Exorcist director's cut, but for me, like, that first instance of body horror was when Reagan flips over onto her back and scuttles down the stairs like a spider. So yes. That's what I think of when I think of body horror. And then there's been bits beyond that and bits that I've seen past that. But to me, it's one part. I'm very expressive. You may have noticed in my answers, I'm very expressive with my hands. So part of it's acting out some of it. So for example, one of the hag coven, she was that Reagan scuttling around like a spider. So describing how her hands flip over and you hear bones crack audibly, and you see like shifting the body, like shifting my own body around to give some indication of what she would be doing, or holding myself the way that they might do. So yeah, it's that interplay between physical motion and kind of lyrical, almost poetic delivery of description, allowing that to flow weirdly, just to give that kind of unsettling feeling to players.
As a fellow fan of body horror, I do the exact same thing. And it really helps that I'm double jointed because I can really
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I suppose the only thing I would add to that is part of the question was, how do you prefer to describe show body horror? Start small. Starts like really small and then very gradually increase. Never start off with like big graphic descriptions of like, you know, the thing. Just the thing. Never start with lead towards that. I really like starting with sort of making people uncomfortable. The extremities, fingernails, toenails, eyes. They are the easiest. And guarantee some people in the chat already felt uncomfortable just by mentioning fingernails.
Absolutely. You know, there was a
and
film.
It's just easy.
Yeah. What, you make it sound easy. You make it sound easy. I will never forget. I was in the cinema watching this film called House of Wax, which was a remake, and it was such an underrated, must have been 2000s, somewhere around there, release, because it was a fantastic teen slasher flick, but the special effects of the actual House of Wax was amazing. And there was one part in it where someone's sticking their fingers through a grate, and all that you see is a pair of wire clippers just closing around that finger. And you don't see anything, but the whole audience just kind of went, you know, there was that moment of, oh my God. But then Paris Hilton was in this film, and she's busy running away from the bad guy, and she is literally in brassiere and pretty much nothing else. She was doing the quintessential teen girl running away from bad guy, but she'd been so annoying throughout the whole film that the bad guy, and this is not a spoiler, he throws a gigantic metal rod through her head and everything just explodes. But the audience was like, yes, yeah, we just loved it because it was so appropriate for getting rid of this absolutely useless character. But then the next shot was this finger, and that sort of juxtaposition was really powerful. I see Nick Sutton is saying Jared Padalecki, House of Wax. I think that might be the very one. It might be the very one. So otherwise, second-hand World Anvil, of course, has said steal from Cronenberg anytime. Well, yes, the parts that you can steal from Cronenberg, because some parts I think you just shouldn't. Never touch a typewriter ever again. Anyway, so there we are. Right. Well, so yes, you went globe-trotting off to Kuwait. Very nice, very nice. I noticed that you were announced for something, Liam. Yes. What were you announced?
Finally, I could talk about it. I've been announced for hardcore mode D&D in a castle this April.
Yes, this April. All right, now, and again, if you're new to the show, this is not us going, you must buy tickets to D&D in a castle. This just happens to be, we met at D&D in a castle. We're a bunch of friends. We're hanging out, and we go to D&D in a castle, so it's going to pop up in a conversation. But if you do happen to have, some spare time in April, things are happening. Hardcore mode. Now, hardcore mode, I will never run hardcore mode. And I have said this as much to the D&D organizers. I am too old. Yeah. I can't do it. I just can't. Chris, you've done it.
Twice now. Twice.
Yes.
Brutal.
Yes. So Laura Bones is going hardcore mode. Is that where you play without snacks?
I don't think I would survive.
No, I think that's champion mode, Laura, or like god mode or something. I don't know what mode, or just stupid mode. It's like, why would you do that? Yeah. No snacks. What on earth? So tell us a little bit about hardcore mode. What does that mean? Because D&D in a Castle, you play for 3 days.
Yes. So D&D in a Castle, there's arrival day. You all arrive. There's this big ceremony, and then you have a session 0.
Yeah.
With your DM, and then three gaming days.
Yeah.
Normal tables will play for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Yeah, which is a good solid chunk of D&D. Hardcore mode is 12 hours a day. So it was pitched to me as you will have to run 36 to 52 hours over 3 and a bit days.
Yes.
And I was like, yep, sign me up. Give me coffee and just let me go.
Oh God.
Where was this 52-hour limit when I was doing it? I ended up 56 and a half.
I know. Your guys were insane. You were insane.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
They were mental.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I know Adrian's in chat, and he was saying that we got pretty close. We were. I don't remember the final number. I think we were like, I want to say 28, 29, maybe there, because we did our obligatory 8, but then we were also voluntarily playing on in the evening. But I can't go after 9 p.m. I just turn into a pumpkin, and my NPCs just. I mean, they're.
Yeah.
But I do remember the days when I was your age. Then yes, hardcore mode could be a thing. So would you do it again, Chris, now that you've done it twice? Because you hold the record now.
Yes.
And I don't think it's physically possible to beat it.
It would be tough. It's doable, but it would be really tough. Like there was time that we spent away from the table. And like if you just go in at 8 o'clock in the morning and leave at 2 o'clock in the morning and just sleep for those 6 hours, it's doable. I think as a DM, the hardest part is not having the time to prep.
Yeah.
It's that constantly having to rip off the dome, and it's an experience. I love it because that's where my best games are. Is like you've got a start point, you've got an end point, you've got maybe 1 or 2 scenes in between, but like just improv D&D is kind of my real strong suit. I think I would do it again. I'm not breaking my own record. I've got no interest in playing 56 hours of Dungeons and Dragons again.
Yeah.
It was one of the most savage experiences of my life.
I also have no interest in chasing your record.
Yes.
I don't think many people do.
Yes.
Yeah, my game will end when it is meant to end.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not padding it out.
Do you know what the funny thing about the 56-hour game was? I ended up needing almost all of that time just to get through the story that I've written for myself.
Wow.
It was insane. But anyway, that's a story for another time. Fair
enough. Okay. God, I don't know. I mean, we all go and play D&D for different reasons, right? So there is that. 56 hours. Goodness. Anyway, let's see. Have we got any more? Thank you for sharing. Laura Bones in the house and is our moderator, so behave or she will, ask you to behave. I don't know. I was going somewhere, but I got sidetracked. Someone was writing about snacks in a locked box, and you have to fight for them.
Yeah.
So, yes. Now, just looking for any further questions. There'd be riots without snacks. Absolutely. I mean, you should see my tables when we run out of milk. It's actually not my tables. It's just me. I'm just the one who runs riot. Like, I just need milk. Yeah. The last castle stuff. They because they bring up these little jugs, which you go. There are 7 people gathered around this table. That jug ain't going anywhere. Because I'm going to use that for my first cup of coffee. So, yes. But anyway. So, there's... Wandering Heron is in chat and saying that you picked me last year because you like playing in the morning and in the afternoon and then hanging out in the library bar afterwards. Well, exactly. I mean, that's the experience, though, right? That's the joy of it, is that we play how we want to play, and that's the bottom line. Okay, so they don't have any further questions for us, which is absolutely fine and great.
Sir Law had a
yes.
second question.
A second question? Is he allowed a second question? I don't know.
Where's he going? Well, they asked it at the same time.
Oh, well, he asked it. Well, if he's asked it, then it's too late, isn't it? And I failed my check there, so I can't deny anything.
It is. What is an NPC or NPC trope you really like and regularly use?
Now there's a question.
Well, I think I have a few that I use, but I don't know if they're tropey or if they're just tropey because they're always in my games. And so if you've played with me a lot, you'll go, oh, that's the one. So I often will rely on a teenager who is over enthusiastic to become an adventurer. And they will join the team. Laura's already named him. His name is Alad. And Alad is he's not the brightest button in the box, but when he first meets the party, the person who impresses them the most is usually the character class that he wants to become. And he clearly is not designed for it at all. But, I like to have NPCs around for my players to interact with if they want them around. Oftentimes they don't. So a lad is definitely one that I go back to. I have a talking donkey who has a very specific accent and will only talk like this and insists that everybody does exactly what he tells them to do because, of course, he knows exactly what to do in any given situation. So I have a talking donkey that I will frequently drop in if the party needs help. A voice from the stable goes, "He went that way, you idiots." So, yeah, those are the two I think that come to mind in terms of repeat characters. You guys?
You go for it, Liam.
Sure.
Yeah, you go for it.
In the past couple of my one-shots, I've had a half-orc NPC called Oats, spelled like breakfast oats, who I absolutely adore. He can be like as smart or as dumb as the one-shot allows. But everyone likes him because he's just this big, massive person with big, massive energy. And if anyone plays like a half-orc as well, he'll instantly become your best friend. And you usually find him in like an elven village, and he's obsessed with creating a new alcohol, where he's like elvish ingredients but orcish systems. I call it forkish. People, no one has asked him yet why he's called Oats. They just kind of roll with it. But I do have a whole story of why he's called Oats that I have absolutely stolen from a book series I've read. But no one's asked me yet, so I'll save that.
Yeah, save it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oats.
Other than that, what else have I got? Arcane Trickster, Chaotic Good Arcane Trickster Twink is a very good NPC that everyone seems to fall in love with.
Okay.
Yeah, you just make the voice go a little higher, turn on the charm, and just act very smart, and people, but in like an endearing way.
Yeah.
I love that.
There we go. Chris, any from you?
I have two. I have a tendency. I like if my campaigns happen in the same world setting. I like them to kind of play into one another. So my Forgotten Realms now, I've been running it for like 15 years. is this sprawling mess of like self-referential NPCs. So people will see things in the distance that I know happened in a game like 10 years ago, but they have no idea. And so I have a lot of like player characters from past games, or my player characters, or like NPCs from different places just pop up. Different versions of them, like weird takes on them, evil mirrors of them. That's kind of a big thing for me, is introducing these characters that I've loved in the past, and getting to introduce them to new players. The second one is very related but very specific. Popper appears in just about every game I can fit Popper into. Popper is Liam's girlfriend. Liam's lovely partner, Gemma, is a fabulously good player, and would make an excellent GM. And everybody in the chat should tell her to start GMing. There's even a whole channel here.
Down for
Yeah,
that.
it was.
There's even a whole channel here teaching her how to do it.
Yeah, it was nice knowing you, Chris. Yeah. Can I have your minis?
You what, sorry?
Can I have your minis when you're dead?
When I'm dead? Yeah, if she doesn't steal them first, yes. But she played a kobold barbarian with a love of fancy hats. Who we don't know where Popper's from or what Popper really is. Popper could just be a normal kobold who's just lived for a very long time for some reason, or could be an ancient red dragon who accidentally polymorphed itself like generations ago, or could be a god who forgot they're a god. Nobody really knows. Popper is Popper.
Yeah,
and
lovely.
If anybody ever needs an NPC,
Popper is the one.
Popper is the one.
Yes, I've been asked to relay a message to you, Chris, but I'm not allowed to do that on this channel because we're PG-13.
Oh, I saw it.
Do you guys have any go-to villains? Because I do. I have one go-to villain which has popped up for years, and when players who know me, when he pops up, they're like, "Oh God!" I stab him straight away, and you're like, "You can't stab me. I'm just here to make a deal." So my character, my NPC that I will go to is, if you are at my table and you're in a precarious situation, it's life or death, or possibly just life or cake, and you're just having a tough time deciding, and you kind of vocalize, it's like, "Oh, I wish we could do this," or "I wish that could happen," or "Oh, I hope this," Damnifer will appear. And Damnifer will offer you an absolute bargain of a deal. Whatever it is that you desire, Damnifer will give it to you for a very small, insignificant price of something that you're not even using. And once you're dead, you won't know that you're not using it anymore. And so he is this devil who pops up and he offers deals to the players everywhere. And I've had some players who've taken his deals and have then discovered that as long as they remain useful to him, he will continue to support them. But the moment they turn on him, he becomes this mean, vindictive devil type of person. But he does pop up quite a lot of the time, I must admit. Just because he's so much fun, and players who haven't met him before, after 5 minutes, they're like, he is just evil oil incarnate. He is super slick, super smiley, super creepy. He has died so many times. I've had players journey into hell, find him, and kill him in hell, so that he doesn't come back, right? Because if you kill him on the prime material, they just go back to hell. So, yeah. Anyway. Do you guys have any return villains?
I have a weird one. I use the deck of many things.
Oh.
Every single campaign I've run, definitely the castle, and for a few of them outside the castle, those kind of those limited time, we have a specific finish point. I always throw the deck of many things in, because it is the most self-destructive thing that a party can be given. Even when you take out all the really nasty stuff, they will eat themselves alive over that item. And in recent campaigns, I started making it less of a magic item and more of a character with an experience built around it.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a jester who leads people through a series of doors that represent the cards, and kind of goads the players into doing this or doing that without ever saying a thing. There's a little bit of that body horror, a little bit of that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? That uncanny valley to it. And he'll make deals with them and offer them stuff, all without ever saying a word. And it's lovely.
Remind me never to play in one of your games again. I mean, I enjoyed the worm game. The worm game was super cool, but I do feel All right. So we've got some questions here. Nick Sutton has asked the question: would you recommend a DM playing games run by a professional DM to see what a theoretically higher level DM looks like in practice? The idea being that observing a pro could help improve your own DMing. What do you think about that? Because my immediate gut reaction is you have to be aware of what a professional DM is doing beyond DMing the game. Because you're not just DMing the game. You are a hospitality, you are a host, you are a paid entertainer, and you are paid to provide entertainment, which is very different from a home game.
Yeah.
So watching a professional DM is, in a way, and this was that whole Matt Mercer effect, is you're looking at someone who is doing it for money, and as a result of doing it for money, are significantly more invested in the entertainment quotient than a DM at home should be.
Yeah.
I mean, at home, you can print all the minis. You can do all of the accents. You can prepare the music. You can go mad. You absolutely can. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to. And if you watch professional DMs and you're going, oh my God, that's what I should be doing to be a great GM, the answer is no, it's not. Not if you're doing that at home. That's my opinion anyway.
I think I would largely agree. I would largely agree. I think for me, it's I would split it down into two different groups. So there's the professional DMs who you can hire to run like the start playing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where yes, exactly what you say. You're going to get a very different style of DMing to what people are necessarily going to get or necessarily going to want from a regular game run for friends, like a regular home game. If you can get onto something like D20 Cruise, D&D in a Castle, where you've got that kind of next level of professional dungeon master, without wanting to cast aspersions on anybody. There are when you've got people who've been pro DMing for 20 years, 10-20 years, there are things that you can learn from them, like the way that they're able to make sure that everybody gets their moment, or the way that they structure a story to fit that kind of campaign or that one-shot period. I think for me, having been a home GM surrounded by that kind of level of expertise, that's really what I picked up, was like how to structure things, how to fit a game to a time period, how to create one shots that grab people, create an interesting concept, but also finish on time. I think there's things to be learned, but you have to go into it knowing that you're going in to observe rather than necessarily play. If that makes sense.
I think it would almost be better to observe and not play.
Yes.
Because then you can see what's going on behind the screen, which sometimes is nothing. But it's also good to sometimes learn that, hey, you might prepare everything, but everything you've prepared doesn't matter how good you are. If the players are not going there, they're not going there. Liam, any thoughts?
I also mostly agree. All of the skills that you need to be a great GM, you learn at home with your home game. Exactly like you say, professional DM is a big a lot of it is being like a host and you are providing a service. Thankfully, I can speak for Chris here as well. Coming from the service industry,
right?
That's already. I think that's why me and Chris kind of had an easy time getting into running games. It's already in there that like you're providing a service. Everyone wants to feel important. It's your job to make sure everyone feels important. I will also say, from being at D&D in Castle and a couple other events, like public games and whatnot, you would be amazed, truly amazed at how much is just improv. Like you say, like if you look behind the screen, there's a blank screen. The person in front of you is just making it up, exactly like you do at your home game.
Yes.
Yep.
Although I'm busy printing something at the moment, my printer's busy going. It's only got another 12 hours to go, so I'm very excited. Yes, it's big. It's really big. But I mean, I say really big, right? But it's not that big because the printer can only go to 15 centimeters. I'm like, damn it. Yes, these figures will be included in my April games because I found them and I was like, oh, that is so visually juicy. And from a game perspective, it's going to be such a freaking nightmare because these things, they're ground-based, but they are going to dominate the air. And they're just one of those things you go, this has to go into this game because it's going to be hopefully amazing. And so it'll be behind my screen. And if the players go in a completely different direction, I will move the entire planet just to have that particular location in their flight path because it's really cool. I think that's also a problem that I have. I don't know if you guys got this, just diverting slightly, is that there's companies like Loot Studios, Mammoth Factory, there are a whole bunch of STL makers, and they make the coolest minis. And you look at these minis, you're like, I need like 50 of those. Let me just start printing now.
Yeah.
But my problem is, and I've got a book, literally, with a list of the things that I printed out, and the inspiration that I had with the mini. Because otherwise, I sit with like 20 of them ready to go and be cured. I cure them. They go on a shelf. I print another 3 or 4 weeks worth of stuff. And then I sit down to paint. I paint them. And then I sit down and go, what was I going to use this for?
Yeah.
Who
are you?
What was this? This is really cool, but...
Who are you again?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I don't forget who they are. My problem is that I print off I have too many good ideas. So I've still got maybe 24 miniatures that were supposed to be painted up for the November hardcore game.
Right.
And they're just there now. They're just undercoated, never painted.
Yes. I must admit, Army Speed Painter, those speed painting paints, they really have made a difference. They're not beautiful. They're not going to win any awards, but they are good enough to go on the table for everyone to go ooh and ah, and that for me is really important. So, right on that little segue, let's go back now. I hope I haven't missed any questions. So, Laura asks, regarding world building in a new homebrew world, what do you dread the most about it, and how do you overcome it? Well,
This is-
I can tell you immediately what I dread the most about home building, because I'm busy doing it at the moment. I'm trying to commit my world setting to paper, right? Because I've been hired to create this book. Now, I've been creating the world maps, and I have sunk in because I've been doing it now. I did it the whole of December. I've been doing it partially in January to create this world map. I think it's the best thing I've ever done, and that takes some getting for me to say that. There are at least 250 hours just into drawing the maps. But then I'm currently sitting on about 80,000 words in a text document describing all these things. But it's nowhere near enough, because the client that I'm working with is putting it into the software, which I think will be available for resale later. But he goes, okay, cool. So there's the map of this region. Do you have the city maps for your capital cities? And I'm like, I actually don't, but I want to make them. So I'm going to make them. And then you start making those, and you're like, this is going to take me about 4 hours per city map. And then I've still got to write up everything. Because it's one thing, the homebrew world I've been playing in for 15 years. And if you said to me, describe Howden Lee, I go, oh, okay, well, it's a 3-tiered city, and this tier is called that, and there's this on that, and I can tell you it all. But then when it comes to actually going, oh, now I have to write it down so that it makes sense for others. So I guess for me, the worst part about homebrew is when you are committing it to paper. And I actually wanted to raise a point about your Feywild thing as well. Is did either of you see what Jason did for his primers for his players? He showed it off last year at the castle.
No, I might have missed that.
Yeah. So what he does is, for priming his players, he creates like a 15, 16-page document, which is lots of imagery, because images are evocative. And then there's descriptions of the homebrew world and of elements that the players might need to know, plus some technical things on, design your character to be X or Y or whatever. In terms of these are your limits. But it looks so good. And he's just been made head of the DMU, that's the Dungeon Masters University. He's now running a lot of he's what is he, the castle steward?
Castle, yes.
That's
Castle
right.
steward.
That's right. He's providing support to all the DMs who go to Dina Castle. But his layout, I was like, this is really good. And it certainly beats the 280-page book that I'm busy writing at the moment. It's like, here's your primer. It's a hardcover book, and it comes with 58 different maps, and there's this, and there's that. And it's like, well, here's a 15-page document. Which one would you rather have? So sorry, back to you guys. What do you dread the most about homebrew, if anything?
I dread the inner working of my own brain, which is Liam can attest to this, because Liam's played in my games for a very long time now, and has played in one setting in particular. Some of the darkest stuff I've ever written has gone into homebrew D&D worlds. Stuff that I've started to put together for publication, and I'm about 50,000 words through a document for it. But there's like how much of my soul do I want to bear to people? Because there's some
dark stuff.
There's some real dark stuff in there.
One could even say grimdark.
Yeah. It's almost as though I grew up on Warhammer 40,000 back in its like really, really nasty John Blanche days. It's the type of thing that if anybody knows the Joe Abercrombie books, start there and get a little darker. It's my worlds can be a little brutal at times, and it's kind of how much of that do we dial back?
Liam, anything from your side?
I am horribly indecisive by nature, so I will gladly spend hours homebrewing and designing and writing out stories and maps and areas and descriptions and blah blah blah. But then when it comes to like, okay, the game I'm running happens tomorrow. They're going to this city. Once I describe this city to them, it's cemented there.
Yes.
And my brain just goes, but what if it's different? What if you just change a little thing? And it's like, no, I can't change it 24 hours before.
Yeah.
And I'll still get that 5 minutes before the game starts, where it's like, ooh, the evil queen. What if there were twins? And I'm just like, I can't change that with 5 minutes before the game. I mean, I could, but that's not the only change I want to make, is it?
Yeah.
My brain goes, no. What if there's were-rats in the sewers? Like,
No. Yes.
There's always were-rats in the sewers.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
That's where they live.
Yeah. So the thing I dread is like cementing things down and being like, right, this is the city.
This is it. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you on that one. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Question, Guy. Did you find a solution regarding your walls you mentioned 2 weeks ago? I want to just mention very, very quickly that I don't know if Mech is in chat tonight. Anyway, several of you have sent me emails going, oh, you can look here, you can go there, and you can have a look at that, you can have a look at that. And I thank you for all of those links. And I have gone looking. And I don't know if I am building it up too much in my head of what exactly it is that I'm looking for. But there's lots of solutions out. I mean, there was one solution that had this beautiful gatehouse. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Yes, $284 for an STL print that they will print for you. I'm like, thanks, Etsy. No, thank you. I'm like, I don't understand how they can even charge that much. It was just beyond imagining. So, so I haven't yet found a solution. And I think the real reason why I haven't found a solution is because I need to understand what that arena is for and who built it. And I don't yet know that. So I don't know, should it be more Romanesque in style? Should it be more Gothic in style? Should it be... Because the actual arena walls themselves are fairly elvish neutral. So I need to solve that first and get that right. But as soon as I do find a solution, I will let you know. So, yes. Right. Well, we've got 10 minutes left before the end of the show. So the time has gone super quick. Super quick. I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? Is to do that.
It's becoming a theme.
Yes, absolutely. And there was actually something that came up in my head. Oh, yes. So I've got this wonderful bunch of players. I've got 3 players. And the one player in the last campaign that we played, which ran for a year and a bit, was playing this super talky, the face of the party. Right, where on persuasion and deception he had a base +10, and if he didn't roll a 10, it was an automatic 10. You know, just one of those really, really charismatic characters. And he played it so well. It was so difficult for my villains to consider him an enemy because he just positioned. Well, you could fight us, but like everybody else, you'll just die, or you could join us. You know, and it was like, well, my villains aren't idiots, and he is telling the truth for the most part. You know, so anyway. So this new campaign that they decided they wanted to start running, and we're now 2 sessions in. He came to me and he said, I want to play a goblin yeti thing. Nobody really knows what their species are. They are monosyllabic, one-word type feral thing. Think of it more like a hairy dog, cat, mongrel than anything else. And they would be building sort of like a barbarian monk type of thing, and they were going to let the rest of the party do all the talking. which is quite the swing from where they had been.
Mm-hmm.
What would you guys think about something like that? What would your thoughts be if you've got this player saying, I'm going to now go from being somebody who's leading the party and talking a lot and making all of the plans to someone who's not going to make any plans at all, and I'm just going to eat stuff and chew on the furniture? Adrian is going to adopt this little creature, and let me tell you, Firen is one of those little creatures that you go, you know what, I really do want to adopt you. Possibly put you down, but I do want to adopt you because... you know, it's just this poor mangy mongrel thing that at level 3 is doing like 30 points of punching, clawing, biting damage. You know, so, but what would your suggestion have been to the player? Because I cautioned them. I wonder what you guys would have done.
Yeah. Suppose caution of like, this is different from what you've usually ran. Is this just a momentary like, oh, you want to try something else, or is this you actively like want like? Yeah,
my caution was: are you going to get bored?
Yeah,
you know,
like our old habits of. Right. Oh, I have an opinion, or I can do this, or to come up, but you're a mangy little thing, so it's just going to come out like the Tasmanian devil.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little caution, but also sometimes it's good to just play it against. My character in Chris's Ravenloft game was an exercise in being everything that I've never played before.
Yep.
So I went lawful good cleric with mostly support spells, and I was just like, I'm gonna have a massive loving family. Like I think I rolled like on a random table, and it was like, you have 6 siblings, and both parents are alive.
Excellent.
And it's fun. Sometimes playing against type is good.
Yeah, fair enough. And
it means I have a whole loving family to mess with, which is even better.
Oh yes.
And we're getting there. Getting there.
Yes.
I would honestly, I tend to play with the same people a lot. In games like that, I tend to play with the same people a lot. So I trust their decisions because we've all been playing together for a long time now. For somebody who I'd played with a couple of times, maybe, I don't think I necessarily like caution them. I think I give my players an awful lot of leeway in terms of what they build, in terms of what they want to create, what they want to do with that character. I give them a lot of freedom to create that and to explore that, as long as I kind of know what's going on beforehand. I do like to give people off ramps though. Like if the character's just not working, then if they come to me and say, "Hey, this was fun, but it's kind of hit a little bit. It's kind of hit like a little bit of a single tone. It's a little two-dimensional." Then having either a narrative off ramps where we can bring something in that changes something about the character to kind of give them a little bit more of what they want, or just allowing the character to die. I think as the DM kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Manipulating events so that they end up on their own or whatever, or their death can be used to forward the narrative somehow.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not quite the same, but one of my longest running campaigns, they got the deck of many things, and one of them ended up 2 levels higher than everybody else, and just found it really boring because they were killing all sorts of stuff, and the rest of the party were kind of lagging behind a bit. So he retired his character. And what we did was I worked with him to betray the party, so that player betrayed the party, got one of their favorite NPCs killed, and then became the big bad of the entire campaign. And now they're hunting that character down. Although, as cool as that sounds, really, really big proviso with that is he's had 2 characters since then, and neither of them have been trusted. They immediately look at that player's characters and go,
Right.
"Yeah, but you betrayed us that one time, didn't you?"
And that'll probably only stick with that player for, I don't know, ever.
Yeah, it's 5 years now. 5 years.
Never, you will never let that go.
No.
Nope.
Really.
No.
Rip mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. Well, yes, I was pleasantly surprised that in the last 2 sessions that the player has really taken to the role, and what surprised me was that the other 2 players who were, I don't want to say backseat in the last campaign, they've kind of stepped to the fore, and they did was, it was so wonderful. They got, listen to this, because I'm not going to tell you the final story, so you can be mad at me from now. They got criminals who were trying to frame them for stealing something that they were already planning on stealing. They got those criminals who framed them to be arrested whilst trying to steal the thing they are trying to steal by joining the armed police force and doing all of the detective investigating work to prove how these people had stolen the thing and they hadn't yet stolen it. It sounds awfully complicated, and I went, wait, how did you just orchestrate this whole thing? Anyway, it's a wonderful, wonderful role-playing, and it's a great game. I'll tell it to you next week when we come back. Not next week, 2 weeks' time when we come back. I don't know what the date will be. My brain is saying February already.
It will be...
Is it February? Everyone's looking at that.
February 5th.
February 5th. We'll see you on February the 5th. Please bring more of your wonderful questions, as you have been doing this evening. And to all of those wonderful folks who we all know and love, thank you for joining us in the chat and in the stream. And Chris and Liam, thank you for participating and having great answers. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Brilliant. Alrighty. So long. Farewell. Adieu.
Bye-bye.